You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. A very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And before we get into our intriguing content today, let me tell you that we've got two great guests joining us today. Chris Bissonnette will be joining us, SOFA, Society of Financial Awareness, talking about funding college. And Shelby Stewart will be joining us in just a minute. Orbit College Counseling. Talk about how to get into college. So Shelby's going to help us get in. Chris is going to help us pay for it. So we're going to talk about all of that, spend a lot of time on that today. I know that's a common topic that we speak about here on Ron Siegel Radio and seem to get a lot of commentary. So you're going to want to make sure you watch that one or listen to that one. And again, if you miss any part of it, ronsiegelradio.com, ronsiegelradio.com. You can go into the archive section and you'll be able to see that. And obviously, let me remind you, sorry, my mind went blank there. If you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I'd have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio, Father's Day. Enjoy your fathers if you are so lucky to still have them with you. Father's Day is a nice celebration day. Yeah, what else? Barbecuing. What are you doing for Father's Day? Barbecues, pool parties. I know it's going to be hot. Give us an idea. Let's see. And we're going to give you some ideas for the rest of the week when you on our On the Town segment. You know, Josh, I don't know, that Garfield the Cat Day. My profile and Garfield's profile look very, very similar. Although I rarely get on four legs. That's just, but other than that, you know, we've got a pretty similar profile there. And I don't get this one. It's Turkey Lovers Day. Shouldn't that be in November? I would have thought that turkey lovers, you know, give me some ribs or brisket on the Barbie, hamburgers, hot dog, chicken, whatever. Turkey? That sounds like work. Sounds like Thanksgiving. I don't know. Let's move right along. You know, I want to chat with you this morning a bit about the concept here. We're in a changing market, and there's a lot of folks that are very, very worried about what the market holds. Young people, those that bought a house in the last 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, they're looking back and they're saying the only recession they remember, they've only lived through. Yeah, I know 2020 had a minor one, but the most serious recession they've lived through was 2008-9 timeframe. Scary, scary time period. Now, I'm going to tell you that the recession was caused by real estate. It was not the recession didn't cause real estate prices to drop. It was real estate and home finance that caused that recession. But it doesn't matter because we're looking at a changing time. We're seeing the stock market dropped almost 20%, bear market. Don't feel as good. We don't feel as comfortable. There's a little pain out there. What do we do about it though? Do we just sit there and put our head in the sand? There was a lot of people in 2009, 10, 11 that lost their homes because they put their head in the sand and did nothing. And I'm going to submit to you, probably not the best thing to do. We've got a lot more equity in our homes today than we had back in 2009. We were selling houses, buying houses, keeping them for 20 minutes. Property values dropped dramatically. We didn't have as much equity. Now we've got equity. And we need to diversify. One of the things that's a big, big issue all the time is figuring out, how do we diversify our portfolio? How do we save ourselves? How do we, we're getting into summer. How do we put a life vest on our investments to make sure we don't lose them? How do we make sure that we can continue filling up our car with gas and not going to the gas station and putting half a tank in and then running out again? How do we deal with those? How do we make sure that we can buy milk, if we can find baby formula, if we can get bacon and eggs? How do we deal with all that? We're using up all of our savings. And I don't want to sound like a downer on Father's Day. I don't want to sound like a downer first thing in the morning. So I'm going to give you some solutions this morning. And I'm doing this with a lot of folks that we're counseling, and our team is counseling. Look at the revenue or the income or the appreciation in your real estate. If you bought a house 3 years ago, you've probably appreciated 30%, give or take, depending upon your area. So if you paid $500,000 then, that house is probably worth $750,000 right now, give or take again. What did you put down on that property? Did you put down 10%? So you have $450,000 mortgage and $750,000 property, $300,000 that is in equity in that property right now. What would happen if? What happens if you take out $200,000 of that? And I know you're going to increase your interest rate to do that. I understand that. But let's get rid of all of the credit card debt. Let's get rid of auto debt. Let's analyze student loan debt. Let's do a full debt analysis. Let's do a full borrow smart analysis. Because what we might want to do is take that $200,000, and I'm going to share a statistic with you. And I don't know whether this will happen again, but I do know that it happened once. And whenever I know that something happened once, I know that there's a possibility that it could happen again. So on June 1st, 2007, the S&P 500 was at 1535. January 2nd, 2009, it had dropped 39% to 931. And people weren't feeling very good. They were scared, didn't know what was going on in the market. Wealth effect, scary. But what if you put money into the market on January 2nd, 2009? And what if, and I'm not giving you any advice here, I'm just saying hypothetically, what if you took that $200,000 that I just said to you that you could liberate from your property and put it into the market on January 2nd? Now, we can't time the market. No one ever can. We don't know when the bottom is. But hypothetically, if you did know, 5 years later, January 3rd, 2014, your money would have doubled. That $200,000 hypothetical investment would be worth $400,000. And by the time you get to January of 2019, it's going to be almost tripled. So we're at 600,000, might even be 800,000. And by January 14th, 2022 at 46.62, you're like 500 times the money. And I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying it's something you need to be looking at. A borrow smart analysis with our team will just give you some ideas. We take a little bit of time and we look at it and we say, you know something? What if we take that 200,000 out? Now let's look at the other side of that. You have that property that's worth $750,000. You had a $450,000 loan. Now you've got a $650,000 loan. And say that real estate values drop like they did, and they go down to, say, $650,000, and you owe $650,000. Is the bank going to be able to come after you for that money you just took? No. It's already in a separate account. It's out of the property. It's liberated. It's diversified. They can't come after you for that money. So think about that concept. You've now protected your equity. Take it one step further. What happens if you lose your job? Oh, but you've got $200,000 of liquid capital. You can still support your family. You can still make your mortgage payment. You don't have to stress, because not only have you protected your equity, you've created liquidity, you've created safety for your family. Think about that concept. That's why, even though interest rates are higher right now, and they will come down, now's the time to take action. Because if you borrow right now, 6.5%, 7%, I don't know where it's at and what you qualify for. But during a recession, interest rates generally drop. We're heading toward a recession, probably the first of next year. So now you've taken that money out, you've liberated it, and now you can restructure that home loan to get a lower interest rate too. Think about that. Borrow smart. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to chat with Chris and Shelby. We're going to got an on the town segment. Great restaurant, romantic event. We've got family events and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel.